The passing of Queen Elizabeth II came as a shock to the modern world. Reigning for 70 years and 214 days, the Queen was a significant figure in British culture and a constant presence in the 21st century. With her death came the end of the Second Elizabethan Age, and the British crown dives into a new chapter under the newly crowned monarch, the 70-year-old King Charles III. Indeed, Queen Elizabeth's death sent a ripple throughout the world, and it was mostly felt by the brands that we may often find on our pantry and on the dining table. Welcome to Foodie Legends, your go-to source for the best foods to eat around the world and its history. The British monarch is the head of state of the United Kingdom. Although its power was limited by a series of events that led to the loss of the crown's absolute power and its conversion into a constitutional monarch, the British monarch still wields a significant amount of power and influence. Every noble house had its own coat of arms, a heraldic visual design that represents the said institution. Being said, the current royal dynasty, the Mountbatten-Windsor, carries the country's royal coat of arms, an elegant symbol detailing the history of the British crown and its country. The symbol does not only represent the Queen's bloodline, any brand that is given the chance to carry the royal coat of arms is given a great honor. It means that the brand has its products finding its way to Buckingham Palace and other residences of the royal family. This privilege is called the Royal Warrant, also known for its formal title as the Royal Warrants of Appointment. This privilege has been issued since the 15th century, given to establishments who are supplying goods and providing services to the royal family. This gives the companies a large degree of prestige. After all, not anyone can supply the crown with their products, and it's assumed that only the best can do so. During her reign, Her Majesty the Queen granted 686 royal warrants, a handful of them a renewal of previous royal warrants granted by her father, King George VI. Royal warrants usually last for 5 years, but the Queen's death is quite the special case. The brands that were previously granted royal privileges need to renew their royal warrants with the approval of King Charles III. Popular for its rich chocolate bars wrapped in its signature violet case, Cadbury has been intertwined with the royal family for centuries now. In 1824, a Quaker named John Cadbury founded the company after his own surname, just in Birmingham, England. He used to sell multiple products such as coffee, tea, and chocolate drinks, but it is on the latter that Cadbury found his ultimate success. Later on, John partnered with his brother Benjamin, and the company became known as the Cadbury Brothers. At the time, Cadbury Brothers' biggest competitor was the Fry's of Bristol. Fry's would launch the first ever chocolate bar in 1847, which greatly changed the world of confectionery forever. The brothers refused to be left behind, so in 1849, Cadbury launched its own set of chocolate bars with huge success. Queen Victoria took notice of the growing chocolate company and granted Cadbury its first royal warrant in 1854. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, Cadbury was one of the 3 biggest British chocolate manufacturers, alongside Fry's and Roundtree's. Eventually, Cadbury absorbed Fry's sometime in 1919, surviving 2 world wars, and became a giant confectionery name for the decades to come. Queen Elizabeth II herself gave Cadbury a royal warrant in 1955, and it is said that Her Majesty loved to drink a cup of 2 of Cadbury's warm and rich chocolate drink. The issuance of the royal warrants of appointment, however, are not strictly limited to British companies only. Heinz is one of the most iconic brands out there. In fact, its icon status is so wide that it became a household name, and at the same time, a common part of the royal kitchen. Although widely known for their tomato ketchup, Heinz in general is a food processing company, producing a wide variety of condiments such as mayonnaise, salad dressing, mustard, barbecue sauces, and much, much more. It's impossible to have too much sauce. In its beginning, there was a man born in the United States of America named Henry John Heinz. His parents were originally from Karlstadt in Germany, but Heinz himself has the old-fashioned spirit of an American entrepreneur. In 1869, Henry J. Heinz started his first company with his friend, L. Clarence Noble, and named it Heinz Noble and Company, which mostly sold and produced horseradish. However, the company eventually ended in bankruptcy in 1875. But Henry Heinz was not a man who gave up easily, so together with his brother John and his cousin Frederick, they founded F&J Heinz, with its signature and best-selling product, the Heinz tomato ketchup. Henry would later buy out the shares of his partners in the company and reorganize it to be H.J. Heinz Company, with its slogan, 57 Varieties, because, well, they offer a lot of nice products. After some time, Heinz merged with Kraft, hence creating the Kraft Heinz Company, which today is one of the largest food processing companies in the world. Heinz got its royal warrant in 1951, proudly displaying the crown's royal crest for 70 years. As its show of appreciation, a Heinz spokesperson said, "It's been our highest honor to supply the royal households with Heinz products since 1951, and we sincerely hope to be able to continue doing so for many years to come." Before there was cola, there was ginger ale and carbonated water. The concept of soft drink is not a very new concept and has been a novelty beverage since the late 1700s. In 1783, a man named Jacob Schweppes introduced ginger ale in Geneva. Jacob Schweppes developed the first practical process of manufacturing bottled carbonated mineral water, revolutionizing the beverage industry. In that same year, he founded Schweppes, moving to London in 1792 to further enhance his business. Schweppes got its big break when it received its royal warrant in 1836. Since its conception in 1783, Schweppes' list of beverages include its classic ginger ale, tonic water in the 1870s, and bitter lemon in the 1950s. At the end of the day, Schweppes is a true comfort drink, and one most likely enjoyed by the royals as well. Tea is the primary beverage in the United Kingdom, and the royal family holds no exemption from this tea mania. Twinings is one of the most popular brands of tea in the country, and was also given the privilege of receiving the royal warrant. Founded by 1706 by Thomas Twining, the brand is mostly associated with the Earl Grey tea, a type of tea infused with bergamot. Thomas Twining opened the first known tea room at number 216 Strand, London in 1706, and it's still open today as the oldest tea room in history. Such venues popularized tea initially to wealthy people, but it eventually became a favorite for all social classes. The Associated British Foods acquired Twinings in 1964, making the brand become comrades with known delights such as Ovaltine, Dorset cereals, Revita, and a lot more. As a testament to its good reputation, Queen Victoria granted Twinings a royal warrant in 1837, a prestige that it continually held until the most recent monarch passed away. It is said that Queen Elizabeth herself enjoyed sipping a cup of Twinings tea every morning. Under the reign of King Charles III, Twinings' royal warrant expired, and they will most likely renew this privilege. The tea will remain flowing in Buckingham Palace. Her Majesty's diet is notorious for being strict, and she was known to be a picky eater after all. As for the alcoholic beverages, Queen Elizabeth had some liberties. It is said that she loved drinking martinis, champagne, and routinely sweet wine at various parts of the day. Bollinger is arguably the oldest brand on this list, with its oldest traces dating back to 1585 in the Champagne region in France. However, although they were already practicing winemaking, the Vintner was not using its present name. It would only be in the late 1700s and the early 1800s that Bollinger was finally established as an official wine house, quickly expanding and making a solid name that persists until today. The number of champagne makers that were given the royal warrant does not exceed 10, and Bollinger received its own since 1884 by the blessing of Queen Victoria herself. With its many selections, Bollinger is truly a favorite brand in the royal family's wine cabinet, gracing various royal occasions during Her Majesty's lifetime. Thanks again for tuning in with us here today at Foodie Legends for our latest episode. I hope you found this video worth your time and learned about the Queen's royal warrants and how her passing ushered in new chapters for the brands that received the blessing of Her Majesty. Before you go, be sure to like this video and click the subscribe button for more delicious content every week. Would love to hear your thoughts too, so leave a comment below to let us know what your favorite part of the video was, or if you want to just leave us with a few thoughts. You guys are awesome. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.